Do you know that the society tells you that if your husband is stressing you, pack your load and go? But do you know that the real heroes of many homes are the mothers who have chosen to stay because of the children?
This is a lie from the pit of hell.
Now, pastor is telling women to stay in toxic marriages because of their children. Let's talk about it. Hey, beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is a video of a pastor. I'm not sure where this pastor is from, either Nigeria or Ghana, one of them, but it sounds very Nigerian. Anyway, was on the pulpit telling people, telling women the fact that women should stay in marriages even though they are suffering, even though the marriage is stressing them out. They should stay because not for anything but because of their children, and that they should not walk away, that the no society is now telling them that once the marriage stresses them out, they should leave, and that when the mother is not in the home, it affects the child, the affection of the child, and that's the more reason why women should stay put and endure because of their children. But for me, I'm saying in all this conversation he's having, never for once did he mention the role the man played in stressing the woman and making the woman's life less stressful. Anyway, this has struck an entire conversation of how toxic environment affect children, how toxic environment affect women, and if women should stay in toxic marriages or not. So let's go check out the clip, people's reaction to it, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Do you know that the society tells you that if your husband is stressing you, pack your load and go? But do you know that the real heroes of many homes are the mothers who have chosen to stay because of the children? What the society tells you is that your child is not enough reason for you to go through what you're going through. It is a wrong culture. So we are raising girls who are ready to opt out once it is stressful. So we are having marriages that are very weak. It is no longer for better, for worse. If God has blessed you with a mother who stayed, don't let her die before you know what God gave you. That you know if you were in her shoes, you would have left and she stayed. Sometimes we don't know what we are talking about. And there are no two reasons why they are staying than my children. May God preserve them. Do you know what happens to the children when the mother is missing? The mother is the one that brings the part of care, affection. You know, each time I have to deal with boys and I discover that I'm not getting through them, I start asking what happened to their mothers. When mothers are missing, children struggle, and they struggle big time. Many people are suicidal and depressed. Just one word, one phone call from their mothers. Oh, they're adao, you'll be fine. The prayers the mother brings to the table, the intercession. Even when they too, they are not fine, but they keep praying. That
Where's
the
the
real
father?
heroes of many homes are the mothers who have chosen to stay because of the children.
And that's how those women continue to stay in an abusive environment because of the children, because society expects them to continue to suffer in silence, continue to sacrifice their lives. Yeah, that is what society is telling them.
What the society tells you is that your child is not enough reason for you to go through what you're going through. It is a wrong culture. So we are raising girls who are ready to opt out once it is stressful.
They should. As they should, women should choose themselves, because the research has shown that when women are happier, when mothers are happier, the children are happier. When mothers put themselves first, achieve their dreams, make themselves happy, they are able to be better mothers. So no, a woman should leave an abusive environment, a stressful environment, for one that favors her.
So we are having marriages that are very weak. It is no longer for better, for worse.
But why does divorce have to be an abusive marriage, a stressful marriage? Why can't divorce be the outside world, like, mortgage payment, financial situation? Why does divorce have to be the person's partner? You guys like to excuse bad behavior.
Do you know
Exactly.
that the society tells you that if your husband is stressing you, pack your load and go? But do you know that the real heroes of many homes are the mothers who have chosen to stay because of the children? What the society tells you is that your child is not enough reason for you to go through what you're going through. It is a wrong culture. So we are raising girls who are ready to opt out once it is stressful. So we are having marriages that are very weak.
This is a lie from the pit of hell. Your pastors have started lying to you because they've realized that feminism, women's social justice activism, and women being more vocal about their experiences in marriage is beginning to shake the institution of marriage and expose that institution for exactly what it is and what it does to women. So now they're using their authority from the pulpit to start lying to you and gaslight you about your own reality as a woman. Society has not taught women to live when it gets stressful. If society has taught women to live when it gets stressful, Osinachi will still be here with us. A lot of women who have been and husbands will still be alive with us. If society was teaching women self-preservation the way it teaches men, if society was teaching women that they are also human beings, that they have the same blood running through the veins of men, they also have it, and that it's okay for them to be tired, it's okay for them to leave when it gets stressful, a lot of women will be alive with us. Society has not taught women that. It is feminism, women's social justice activism, and young girls and women observing things on their own, opening our eyes to see the institution of marriage for exactly what it is. That is what is happening. Society has not taught women that. Stop lying. Where has society, when did society teach women that? When? In 2025, go and watch your average Nollywood movie on YouTube. Go and see the nonsense storylines they are still writing, encouraging women to stay in abusive relationships, marriages that threaten their physical, social, psychological, mental well-being. We have not taught women to live when it gets stressful. We have not taught women to prioritize their safety. In fact, what we have taught women from the authority of the pulpit and through spiritual manipulation is that God hates divorce.
Yeah.
Today, there's no difference between a godly marriage and kingdom marriage and worldly marriage. The women in both marriages are experiencing the same things. Christian, religious, virtuous women are experiencing the same thing that worldly women are experiencing in their relationships with men. We have not taught women to leave. We have not taught women that divorce is okay. We have not taught women to say, it's okay, I tried my best, let me go. This is why when men describe who a good woman is, they describe a doormat and a glorified maid. Even though the Bible specifically says that divorce is allowed and okay on the grounds of adultery, do you see women leaving?
They don't leave.
Do you know that the average religious woman today you see is a woman that fully embraces infidelity from their partners? Do you know that? Do you know that you are more likely to find a Christian religious woman who is more open to the idea of a man cheating on her? So stay 15 years and she will stay. They have been taught that living is not a virtue. They have been taught that staying is what makes them good women. They have been taught that endurance, sacrifice at the expense of their own lives, future, advancement, personal development. You are a liar. I don't know what your name is, you man of God. You are a liar. You are a liar. Go and watch your average Nollywood movie and see the years, centuries worth of programming that women have received to endure abuse. Why can't men look at their children and see their children as a good enough reason
to behave themselves,
to bring their wives peace? Why can't men look at their children and decide, you know what, I'm going to be committed to my wife and make sure that she's not wanting and she's not lacking in anything. I'm not going to stress my wife because my kids need her to be sane. My wife is the primary caregiver of my kids. I'm going to make sure that she's not stressed and embarrassed in any way. Do men think that way? If you pastors stop focusing on women and submission and women this, every Sunday is women this, women that, and just focused on men or on the principles of Jesus Christ, maybe there will be positive changes in our homes and in these so-called kingdom marriages.
Do you know that the society tells you that if your husband is stressing you, pack your load and go? But do you know that the real heroes of many homes are the mothers who have chosen to stay because of the children? What the society tells you is that your child is not enough reason for you to go through what you're going through. It is a wrong culture. So we are raising girls who are ready to opt out once it is stressful. So we are having marriages that are very weak. It is no longer.
As a clinical neuropsychologist who has worked with trauma survivors and children from abusive homes and stressful homes, I am going to tell you this. Please run away from that advice or sermon. If you are in a place where the speaker is saying something like that, stand up and leave. If you know that you want to raise mentally and emotionally healthy children, please run away from that kind of speech. And I am taking his word stress, the word he used, stress, I'm taking it to mean toxicity, right? So if you think that it means something else to you, then this video is probably not for you. But if you're in a toxic relationship, please listen to me. So an author, Bell Hooks, said in her book titled All About Love that abuse and neglect negate love, while care and affirmation, which is the opposite of abuse, are the foundations of love. Telling women to stay in toxic, psychologically harmful marriages for the sake of their children is not godly advice. It is not wisdom, and it is not love. I am telling you again, as a clinician, let me be very clear. Sometimes the greatest thing a woman can do for her children is to leave. And if you can take your children with you, please do so. Okay, leave that pain, leave the chaos, leave the gaslighting, leave the home that is teaching your children that love looks like stress, the home that is teaching them that their home is not a sanctuary. That your marriage that you're staying in is teaching your children dysfunction. So let me speak psychologically for a bit, yeah? Toxic relationships are not just only painful, they are neurologically damaging. So your brain goes through actual physiological changes in toxicity. Your brain gets rewired in chaos, right? And that's why you'll see that a lot of people who were brought up in chaos feel strange when there's no chaos, because that is what their brain is used to. You adapt to survive in environments that are constantly unpredictable. So when people say something like, oh, why didn't she just leave the toxicity? It is because long-term exposure to emotional harm creates this ideology of learned helplessness or disorientation, and sometimes even trauma bonding. And the thing is that trauma and abuse is not black and white, right? It is all shades of gray. Sometimes you that is staying there, you don't even know what is happening, and that's why it's not easy for you to leave.
Yeah.
And my dear, that is not weakness, okay? If you have not left, that is not weakness. That is science. That is how your brain protects itself. Leaving a toxic relationship, it's never easy. However, when a woman finally gains clarity and then decides to leave, when she realizes that, you know what, this environment is no longer safe for me or my children, don't tell her that she is destroying her family. She is not destroying her family. She is saving it. Because what are you really teaching your children by staying in a toxic home? You're teaching them that love is pain, that shouting and slamming doors is passion, that women are supposed to absorb rage and walk on eggshells around their partners, that fathers are supposed to stress and then mothers are supposed to endure. What are you really teaching your children by staying in that marriage? Because a lot of us, you see a lot of men of this generation, they keep talking about how their mothers and grandmothers endured, and that's because they've come to see it as normal. The fathers are supposed to stress and the mothers are supposed to endure.
Yep.
But that is not what marriage should be like. So if you're going to quote scriptures, let me quote science for you. So Albert Bandura, one of these great scientists, he came up with social learning theory, right? And that social learning theory explains that children don't just learn from what you teach, they learn from what they see and what you tolerate.
Yeah.
Okay, people learn new behaviors, new attitudes by observing and imitating other people, especially if those behaviors are rewarded or reinforced. And then when they see you stay in that relationship, you are rewarding the toxic behavior that they learn. And that's why your children, or a lot of people will think that it is okay to stress their partners because they have seen it modeled already in their parents' marriage. So when your son sees that you stay with a man who constantly disrespects you, that is what he learns that love looks like. And then he learns to disrespect his own future partner. When your daughter sees you accept mistreatment as normal, she learns that dignity is optional if you love someone enough. She will come to see abuse and toxicity as normal, and that is not okay. See, children don't need perfect homes. They really don't. But they need emotionally safe homes. They need to be able to see conflicts resolved with respect. They need to see adults take responsibility for their actions. They need to witness love that is mutual and gentle and nourishing. So please, stop preaching to women about endurance. Also preach to men about nurture and love and intentionality, because I am tired. I am really tired of men saying things like, oh, I always look at boys who misbehave and ask, where's their mother? Why is it always the mother
Where's
people are
their
looking
father?
for? Why is the father a ghost in his own home? Why do we speak of fathers like their only job is provision? Fathers are not ATMs. They are not visitors in their own homes. Fathers are not the backup plan for when the mother is tired. Fatherhood is not assistance. Fatherhood is not delegation. It is not helping. You are not helping your wife with a child that you co-created with her. You are a parent. Fatherhood is parenting. If the mother can nurture, so can the father. And you don't stay in a toxic marriage just for your children. You leave because of those children. Because when you stay, they grow up confused, right? They internalize that trauma and they carry the anxiety. And then they normalize emotional absence and emotional abuse as normal. And then they repeat it in their own children and relationships and cycle. And then you see that it just keeps going on and
Same
on and
cycle.
on. And the funny thing is that a lot of you parents think you're hiding it from your children, but you're not. See, go and ask your child's primary school teacher. You see, children know a lot. They see a lot of things that you think they are not seeing. No matter how much you think you're hiding, your children are seeing everything. They are hearing it.
Right.
They are hearing the things you're doing and they are learning. And if you're a woman who is watching this and thinking to yourself, oh, it's not that bad. See, let me tell you, even if it's not physical stress, even if it is just the silence, because sometimes our partners can give us silence treatment in a way that is worse than we can imagine. And then you realize that you start having tension in your own home. Your voice disappears in your own home because you don't want to say something now and everywhere will spark. My dear, that is not love. That really is not love. That is erosion. And I know that living is hard. Trust me. As a professional, I see it every day. Living is not black and white. It is layered and it is gray and it is terrifying. It is expensive. It is lonely. But if you are clear, if you are convicted, if you know that the life you're living is costing you your joy, your peace, your mind, then please pack your bags and run with your two left legs. Let me say this again. Living that toxic marriage could be the greatest lesson you ever teach your children because you're teaching them that love is not pain, that silence is not peace, that distance is not safety, because why should I be avoiding my own partner? That hitting somebody is not affection. You're teaching them that withholding affection is not discipline. You're teaching them that controlling where you go, what you wear, and who you see is not protection, it is control. Sometimes the legacy you leave behind is not what you endured, but the thing that you refuse to endure. You don't need permission to choose peace. And let me tell you, God is not glorified by your emotional dying. He's not. So walk away for yourself, but also walk away for those little children who are watching you. Walk away from the little hearts, your children who are learning what love should feel like. Okay, because whatever you do is going to show them what they should accept and what they shouldn't. So please walk away. And whenever you see those kind of sermons, run away. Run away. We should know better by now. Don't allow people tell you to stay, to endure terrible things, because trust me, your children are watching and they are going to learn by the decisions that you make. So think about it.
Please let me know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. Well, as always, keep it respectful. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free and share your thoughts. Okay, this is also another, I think he's Ghanaian. The pastor is either a Ghanaian pastor or a Nigeria pastor, but one of them. But this is also another rhetoric that comes from my culture, my society. This is how women are being perceived, and this is how they expect women to be. And you hear a lot of people, even including my mother, used to say like, oh, I stay because of Una, I stay because of the children, when in reality you should have left because of us, just because you want to protect our mental state and all that. And a lot of the times they want to put all the entire body on women, and this is why like I did a video talking about the woman that was calling out women in their 37 from 37 and above that have standard. You can't just marry anything just for the sake you want to marry, because at the end of the day you end up suffering, you end up being in marriages that you have no business being in, where you lost who you are and your genuine happiness for yourself and your life just for you to exist and be in that type of marriage. And these are the type of rhetoric that is being preached for those type of women, so they will even stay. And this is why I always, when I hear women talk like that and they hear something like that, I'm just rolling my eyes, because it's just a disaster for recipe for women, especially in my culture, in my society, that they should remain in places where they are treated like it, and they believe that you should be the one to uphold it. In Nigeria, in West Africa, it's being known that it's a woman that keeps, there's even this saying that say it's a woman that keeps a marriage. How is it a woman that keeps a marriage when it takes two people to make the marriage work? And then you have children, you're saying, stay. Why can't, like the other sister said, so why can't you people start teaching men to behave right, just because of the children. The same way you people tell women to take rubbish, to take nonsense, to take abuse just because of them. Why don't you teach men to act right just because of the children? But no, nobody, the society, the patriarchy system will never hold men accountable for their actions, but the old woman. If a woman pack up a bag and leave a marriage that no longer serves her, that is toxic for her, she broke the marriage. But what led to her leaving the marriage? No, that one did not. The man did not do anything. It's our fault the marriage is broken. It's our fault that our children has a broken home because the man she's with refused to be a decent human being and treat her like a decent human being. Rather, he's treating her like a property, like a tool. And then yet you still have the same society, both in the religion base, both in the cultural base, both in the family base, that keeps telling women to remain in those type of environment that does not strive them. And you see a lot of these women, they can't even strive on themselves, both physically, mentally, and even financially, and they end up needing these men. And you ask these women, you see these women, they look so drained. They look so drained. Not because they are not beautiful, but they look so drained, exhausted. They are just literally living day by day. And yet you put the entire and say, oh, the society is teaching girls the wrong. No, the society is not teaching girls the wrong thing. We are telling girls the truth. So they know exactly what they want to get themselves into, because this whole glamorizing of marriage and having kids, it's going to end. And they are saying it. This patriarchy system, especially in Africa, in West Africa, in the world as a whole, they are seeing the conversations we're having. They're seeing these channels like this where we talk, where we are sharing life experience, we're sharing stories of things not to do, things to look out for. And that's why they will push back on child-free women. Because one of the things that you can use to keep a woman in marriage, in quote, stay because of your children. So if I don't have a child, I can go, right? So if I don't have a child, I can go. Because now you're telling women, you guys see when I say having a child is a trap. It's a trap. And a lot of women still has not clocked it, especially in my society. I understand children are some of the most beautiful things, yeah. But most of the time, it's the trap they used to keep you. And most of these men, they know. So that's why once you have children, that's when they start showing you their true color. And the society will still encourage you to stay because of the same children. You see why you should not have kids? These are one of the thousands reasons I choose not to. Because I want to be able to pick up and go when it no longer serves me anymore. I want to be able to pick up and go if I'm no longer happy. But they tell you children brings happiness. If your husband does not make you happy, don't worry, go ahead and have kids. You'll be happy. It's a lie. It's a lie. And whether you guys like, you see these words will continue to go out there for more women will continue to go out there. And whether you like it or not, someone like me, I'll keep telling the truth. Marriage is the biggest scam that's ever been sold to you as a woman. Don't buy into it. Having a child is a trap. Go and hear the mothers that already have kids. Most of them, they'll tell you it's not easy. And they'll tell you, oh, that's what it will bring. It does not bring the man closer. It does not help the marriage. It does not help the relationship. It does not make your life easier. So why do you want to make your life harder? Because why? They've programmed our heads that suffer head, stress, suffer, sacrifice is for us as women to do. I wish you guys well, but like I will tell you people, the institution of marriage does not serve you as a woman. If you ever want to do marriage, you better don't do it the way society has structured it. It does not help. Coming from a woman that has been married for almost 12 years now, being with her husband for 22 years, I am telling you, it does not serve you. Having a child does not serve you. Anyway, guys, go on and share your thought. Love to know what you think. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.